Welcome to the System Simplified podcast, where we feature top leaders who share stories on how to successfully systemize a business. Now, let's get started with the show.
Hello, Adi Klevit here, the host of the System Simplified podcast, where I feature top founders, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders about systematizing a business. And today's episode is being brought to you by Business Success Consulting Group, where we create, implement, improve, document processes and procedures so businesses can grow and thrive. And I am honored to introduce today's guest, which is James Hilovsky. Hi, James.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for having me on.
You are very welcome. And we're going to have a great subject to discuss today, which is the subject of franchises. You know, you are the founder of The FranDream, which basically you're passionate about helping entrepreneurs to become business owners, basically to, I guess, accomplish that dream of entrepreneurship, right? By becoming franchisees. And that's a whole process by itself. And it's definitely a great solution in terms of being able to own a business. And we're going to talk about that option. And I'm definitely very passionate about it because we helped franchisors create their franchise, like in terms of documenting processes, and also franchisees of well-known franchises to help them with their internal processes as well. So I think that having a franchise is a great way to go. And it's definitely it can expedite the dream of having your own business. So we're going to talk all about that. But before we start, let's hear more about you and your journey to how did you found the FranDream, why, and what is your career journey, life journey, so you can share with our listeners.
Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate that. So my career journey was in the area of the food industry. So I grew up and working in restaurants, and I wound up I was in fine dining restaurants. Then I went into fast food, believe it or not. It was in a quick service restaurant. And I worked my way all up to district manager, regional manager, and was there for 20 years with one company. Then another company that was a brand new food industry, they were starting their concept, and they said, hey, we have one store, we want to grow fast. We want someone to come over and help run our franchise side, of franchise support, franchise training. Can you help do that? I was so intrigued by that. Then I went and left and went to work for them. And I helped them build the system from one store up over to 100 restaurants in a matter of about 3.5 years. So it was a lot of growing, a lot of changing directions because hey, this one didn't work. So it was a very good experience. I helped all the franchisees. I helped them open their stores and was supportive of them. And then the largest franchisee of the company came to me and said, hey, will you come work for us, run our operations? And we want to do some different things too. Happened to be owned by 2 NFL football players. So I helped them with the concept we had. And then we did another franchise concept in ice cream. And then we did our own coffee shop. And then we did our own cookie dough shop. So we had quite a few different things going on. Then one of the players retired from the NFL, and the other one got hurt, couldn't fulfill the rest of his contract. And they decided, we kind of want to sell off, and we want to go, we want to get into something else other than restaurants. And it was perfectly fine with that. They wanted to go into the tequila business, which they did, and they're doing very well with that. I chose, it's not really my area expertise. Not that I don't have anything against tequila, but I just not my expertise. So I left, because we all left, and then I went and started the FranDream. And I wanted to start the FranDream because I saw all the people that I worked with that were out there, franchisees that were out there that had their lives changed by owning a franchise. And I thought, it would be great to be able to take and help people find a franchise out there is what we do at the FranDream is we show people different options in the franchise industry that are out there for them. And a lot of things that people all think about is, hey, it's just the food industry. Those are franchise. Think of McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts. But I would say if you drive around the street and you're in your car and you look at all the cars that go by that are wrapped and the buildings, I would say majority of them are franchises. There's HVAC companies that are franchised, there's window companies, restoration companies, all that are franchising. And the franchise model is so good because they provide you with a playbook of how to run a business, and they give up the guardrail so you can't go off the beaten path too far, and they are there for you for ongoing support, opening support, ongoing support. So I just really think anybody who is looking to go out on their own should definitely take a peek at looking at a franchise business.
Great. Now, do you find from working with many people, getting that they want to have a franchise, you help them get a franchise? Did you identify certain traits or qualities where they will make somebody a good franchise owner as opposed to someone who should not even look at that? I mean, what are the qualifications or what are the traits that you encounter that will make somebody a good franchisee?
That's a great question. I would say from working, one of the reasons why I did do this too was working with the NFL athletes. I did see all the people that came up to them and wanted them to do businesses that really had no chance of making money or really kind of crazy ideas. So I also wanted to help athletes too. And I believe athletes are great to run a franchise business because franchising provides you for the playbook. An athlete has been following a playbook all his or her life. So it's just a natural fit that they will follow a system. I would say also out there for an entrepreneur that may be a dentist that's trying to get in, maybe get out of the trade and get into a franchise business. Their whole thing is let's look, and if you can follow the system and you're going to be able to follow the franchise system and the lead that they give you, then they can make you successful. If I'm a dentist in a franchise world, if you said, hey, I want to run an HVAC business. Well, it's business. So even though you're a dentist, you can run an HVAC business because it's all about managing people, managing a business. You're not going to be the one out there repairing the HVAC. You're going to hire the right people to do the job. So, you don't really necessarily need the experience in the field you want to be. And on one hand, if you're so much of an entrepreneur that you don't want to follow a system, you don't want to follow guidance, and you're not going to be open to taking criticisms or adjustments into the business, then I would say a franchise business is probably not for you because you do have to follow the guidelines. And you got to remember too that the guidelines are there because the business has been in business for many years. So they've experienced the hiccups and the bad things that are going to happen. So they've experienced so you don't have to. But if you can't follow a system, then I would say franchising is not for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why we document processes and procedures for businesses so they will have, they don't become a franchisor, but at least, it's a similar concept of like, you're going to hire new people that will know exactly how to fit in and how to be able to follow the systems that you have for your business. So I agree that, you have to be able to follow systems in order for you to be a franchisee. And you also have to be called accountable, because you have to be reporting every month in order to pay the royalties and whatnot. But of course, you have then the benefits that come with it. So
Yes.
Jen, from your experience, what would make a good franchise to invest in? Like, what are the main qualities or the main characteristic that you look for, or that your clients or that our listeners should look for and consider to make it a good investment?
Well, there are many different factors to that question. You have to look at, are you looking to be owner operator? Are you looking to be a passive owner to where you're going to keep your current job and then transition into the business? What kind of investment level are you looking for? And I would say kind of what industries really excites you, or just be open-minded and just go, hey, you know what? I know nothing about dog grooming, but this sounds like a great business. And the thing is to investigate. And I tell all my clients this, we'll look at any industry you want to look at, and we'll look at strong margins. But the one thing that you have to have from the franchise is when you're talking with them, and pretend like you're on an interview, because they're interviewing you, but you need to interview them, because this is going to be your business partner. And you want to go into a system that you feel will give you support. That is the main thing. Find a franchisor who's going to support you and give you great training and be there for you. That is the most important thing, because at the end of the day, it's really kind of up to you if you're going to make your business grow or not. The franchise is going to give you the tools and the systems and the support. So yes, you want to have the best shot available to you. And that's why you go find a franchise that will provide that support. And that'll just increase your odds of being successful.
I think it's a great advice. So what will be some of the questions that you will ask during that interview?
So you're going to ask, what does your training look like? What kind of training will I receive, and how long is it, and what if I'm struggling out there? Can I come back to the corporate office and retrain, or what are your process going to be if I'm lacking an area? How often do you do a store or territory visit? In person? How often do you do that? Or what kind of systems are in place on a day-to-day basis that I can look at my business and tell me, how's labor doing? Where am I falling short? Right? Give me the matrix. Do you have a system in place for that? And also, do you have, what's the brand new initial training like? What kind of support do you send out for that? What kind of marketing support do you have? And just drill down of all the support questions, and then make sure, how are you going to keep supporting me as well?
Those are excellent questions for sure. What do you think the most successful franchises have in common?
I think the most successful franchises, what they have in common, are founders that have founded the business. They have a passion for their business, and they have a passion for people, and they have a passion for helping entrepreneurs being successful. And that founder will hire good people in his organization to make sure that's the culture. All the culture is, hey, we are here, we're doing we have our business. We have to also support our franchisees. And when a franchisee calls with a question, that should be an immediate, like a 5-alarm fire of, hey, let's get the support, let's get the answer out to this franchisee, and let's make this, what can we do to make this much easier and to help him or her fix this problem?
I love it. Do you have any success stories you would like to share with us, case studies of where you took somebody who was not an entrepreneur before, and by helping them find the right fit for them in terms of a franchise, they are really happy right now, and any transformational success story because of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I was working with a minor league baseball player. He had finished his playing career. Now he was in corporate America. And there's going to be a different story for everyone that wants to get into a franchise and get in their own business, because there's going to be different reasons. His reasoning was, hey, I want to exit from corporate America, but I also want to have a family business, and I want to have generational wealth. So what his goal was, he wanted to find not just a one-unit franchise that he was going to run, but one he could get into and expand and help grow that. And his wife was going to run the first one, and when the second one opened, he was going to transition into the business when the second one opened, and the daughter would have the third one. So his goal was, I want to have 3 within 3 years. And so we looked at different franchise systems for him that were out there, and he wound up going with, I said it just a while ago, a dog grooming business. So dog grooming, that the family has dogs, they love dogs, and The particular franchise is a franchise that's $45 a month, unlimited grooming of your dog. So he already figured he was going to beat his competition. And the thing is, him and the founder owner gelled. He went to franchisees before he signed the deal and verified, would you do this again? When did you, how quick did you, make your money back? And then what kind of support did I get? Do you feel like you're getting great support? He got all the answers he was looking for. And right now his first one is open and it's doing really well. And the second one is due to open in the first quarter of next year. And that's when he's looking to transition into the business and then start building that generational wealth for his family.
That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. In terms of processes, we're all about processes, right? So from your experience, why processes are so important for businesses, for franchisees, franchisors, the business itself? Why processes make such a huge difference?
Yeah, processes are the key to everything, because I guess if you took a restaurant, for instance, and there are no processes, you could see the 5 people in the front running around doing different things and would just be a chaotic, you're just a chaotic mess. And that's why you have processes in any business. So here's the way we do it. Here is the systems that you follow step by step. So the end result will be perfect. And without processes and documented processes, because you can have all the processes you want, but if you do not have good management in place or that are going to show and train the employees about the process, then the process means nothing without the people that help train the process and follow the process. That's why in a franchise business, again, it's so key to have that support that's going to enforce the process and make sure that the process not only are followed, but being trained to everyone in the organization.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a key. So everybody will actually be trained in the organization. So from your experience of running in the restaurants business and running several businesses, what were your successful actions in making sure that the processes are actually followed by all and there is accountability? What did you actually do in order to do that?
So my whole thing was, it's all about the people. You're only as good as your people. And one of my whole things, even as a regional manager, when I would come in and visit a restaurant, would be say hello to every employee, let them know that they're very important. Even if it's the guy that is taking out trash and doing the maintenance, you want to go up to them and say, hey, how's it going? And how's your day going? And, how's it going on the job? And make everyone feel important. And I also feel that that is the single most important thing to do, is to have the people in buy-in. You have to have buy-in on the process, because the process is a piece of paper, but you need the buy-in. So maybe something that you're talking with your manager employee and going, how is this process and system we wrote working for you? And if there's a problem with it and they tell you, then maybe investigate it, and maybe there's a better way to do the process or something that we need to change. So it's all about constant feedback and following the process, yes, but getting that feedback to know, hey, is there anything that's causing a problem in this process?
Absolutely. I agree with you. It is buy-in, follow up, and then definitely taking those revisions or those suggestions and clarifying and revisiting the processes is very, very important. So thank you for that. That's absolutely true. Excellent. Well, James, you definitely know a lot about processes, about franchises. And if our listeners are listening right now and they want to find out more, they want to find out how they can qualify to be a franchisee, or they need help from you and your expertise on how to locate and find a franchise, how can they contact you?
Yes, they could go right to the website, thefrandream.com on there. And there is a form they can fill out. They could actually search on franchises, or you could drop me an email, james@thefrandream.com. Happy to respond and happy to talk with anybody who's even just just thinking about looking at a franchise.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being a guest on this podcast, and thank you for sharing your knowledge.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure, and just can't thank you enough for doing what you do.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the System Simplified podcast. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.